The soft green light of twin moons cast long shadows across the royal garden where Lisa stood face to face with the towering alien ruler of Zexia Prime. The monarch stood 3 meters tall with iridescent scales that caught the moonlight. His 4 eyes blinked in sequence as he studied the human ambassador. Lisa had not expected this meeting to end with such a strange request. She had come to Zexia Prime as part of the first human delegation to reach this distant world. Her job was simple: establish friendly relations and open trade talks. Nothing had prepared her for a personal request from the king himself. The alien king gestured to a small figure partially hidden behind his massive frame. Stepping forward was a young female alien, her frame thin and delicate compared to her father. She could almost pass for human if not for her pale blue skin and the small ridges along her forearms. The translator in her ear buzzed with the king's deep voice. "My daughter Nalara suffers from a condition unknown to our healers. She grows weaker by each passing cycle. Our scientists believe human physiology may hold the cure. Your kind are known throughout the stars as survivors. Your bodies adapt to challenges that would destroy others." Lisa watched as the young alien princess swayed slightly. Even this formal introduction seemed to drain her energy. The princess looked no older than 20 in human terms, though Lisa knew the aliens of Zexia lived for centuries. The king continued, "Offer a trade alliance beyond your planet's wildest dreams if you will take my daughter to Earth and find a way to help her." Lisa felt the weight of responsibility settle on her shoulders. This was far beyond her authority as a junior diplomat. She should consult with her superiors back on Earth, wait for proper protocols to be established. Yet something in the king's many eyes spoke of desperation. Something in the way the young princess tried to stand tall, despite her obvious weakness, touched Lisa. "I cannot promise a cure," she said carefully, "but I will personally ensure she receives the best care Earth can offer." The journey back to Earth took 3 weeks in the human transport ship. During that time, Lisa learned more about Nalara and her condition. The princess had been born healthy, but began to weaken around what humans would consider adolescence. No disease could be detected, no parasite, no genetic disorder. According to Zexian medical science, she was perfectly healthy, just mysteriously. Frail Nalara spent much of the journey in her quarters conserving energy, but occasionally joined Lisa in the observation lounge to watch the stars streak by. "Your people travel so slowly, yet you have spread so far," Nalara said one evening, her voice soft and musical even through the translator. "Your ships are primitive compared to ours, but you push them to their limits. You take risks we would never consider." Lisa smiled. That might be the most accurate description of humanity I have ever heard. As they approached Earth, Lisa noticed Nalara spending more time at the viewport, her 4 eyes wide with wonder as the blue planet grew larger. "It looks so harsh," she whispered, "so wild. The oceans, the mountains, the deserts. How do your people survive?" "In such varied environments, we adapt," Lisa explained. "We change ourselves to suit our surroundings rather than changing our surroundings to suit us." Nalara considered this. "It is the opposite on my world. We have reshaped entire continents to be perfectly comfortable. We control the weather, the temperature, even the composition of the air. We never need to adapt." "Perhaps that is connected to your condition," Lisa suggested carefully. The princess turned her blue face, showing surprise. "I had not considered that our bodies have not needed to be strong for thousands of years. Their arrival on Earth caused quite a stir. The first alien royal to visit the planet was news enough, but her mysterious condition added an element of intrigue. Scientists and doctors clamored for the chance to examine her. Politicians saw opportunities for diplomatic advantage. Lisa shielded Nalara from the worst of it, taking her directly to a private medical facility in the mountains of Colorado. The location had been chosen for its clean air, moderate altitude, and privacy. For weeks, doctors ran tests. They found nothing physically wrong with the princess. Her biology was different from human, of course, but everything functioned as it should for her species. Her muscles were properly formed. Her organs operated correctly. Her blood carried adequate nutrients. It was a specialist in evolutionary biology who finally proposed a theory. Your people evolved in an environment similar to Earth, she told Nalara. But for thousands of years you have lived without physical stress. Your bodies never need to fight gravity, never need to resist temperature changes, never need to run or climb. Your muscles have not atrophied. They simply never developed proper tone. Is there a cure? Nalara asked. The specialist looked thoughtful. Not a pill or surgery, she admitted. What you need is what all humans need to develop: strength, exercise, challenge, stress. Your body needs to be pushed. To adapt, Lisa remembered what Nalara had said about humans adapting to their environment. Could the princess learn to do the same? After discussing options with the medical team, Lisa made a proposal to Nalara. Instead of remaining in the medical facility, the princess would live with Lisa, follow a human lifestyle, and slowly build her strength through increasingly difficult physical challenges. The princess agreed, though she looked doubtful. I have never lifted anything heavier than a ceremonial staff. She admitted, I have never run. I have never climbed. I have never even walked more than short distances. We will start small, Lisa promised, but we will start today. The next morning, Lisa woke Nalara at sunrise. The princess blinked her 4 eyes in confusion as Lisa handed her human-style exercise. Close. Today we begin with a simple walk. Lisa said, 10 minutes, nothing more. Nalara dressed with Lisa's help, still unsteady on her feet. They stepped outside into the cool mountain air. The princess inhaled sharply. It smells so rich, she said, so alive that, is Earth? Lisa smiled. Now let us take our first steps toward making you stronger. They walked slowly down a gentle path. Nalara needed to rest twice, but completed the 10 minutes. By the time they returned to the cabin, her blue skin had a slight purple flush of exertion, but her eyes seemed brighter. That was difficult, she admitted. Lisa nodded. That is how we know it is working. That feeling of effort is your body beginning to adapt. It will get easier, and then we will make it harder again. That is the human way. Days turned into weeks and weeks into months. Lisa maintained detailed records of Nalara's progress. The morning walks extended from 10 minutes to 30, then to an hour. The princess no longer needed to rest during these walks, though hills still challenged her. Every few days, Lisa added new exercises. Simple stretches became yoga poses. Lifting small weights led to more challenging resistance training. Swimming in the small mountain lake built endurance. Nalara struggled with each new challenge. Her body, unused to exertion, protested every step of the way. But the princess never complained. She approached each task with quiet determination. This pain? Lisa asked during a particularly difficult session. Is it too much? Nalara paused, her breathing heavy from the set of squats she had just completed. It is strange, she said. I feel the discomfort, but I also feel something else. Something I have never experienced before. What is that? Accomplishment? Nalara smiled, a gesture she had learned from Lisa. I did more today than yesterday. I am becoming more than I was. That feeling is worth the pain. 3 months into their training, Lisa noticed significant changes. The princess no longer needed 12 hours of sleep. She woke naturally after 8 hours. Her posture had improved. Her movements were more fluid, more confident. The most remarkable change, however, was in her appetite. I never enjoyed eating before, Nalara admitted as she enthusiastically consumed a bowl of oatmeal with fresh berries. Food was merely necessary. Now I feel hunger, real hunger and satisfaction when I eat. That is your body asking for fuel, Lisa explained. It needs energy to build new muscle, to repair itself. After exercise during their 4th month, Nalara experienced what humans called a growth spurt, not in height but in strength and endurance. Suddenly, she could hike for hours without tiring. She could lift weights that had seemed impossible just weeks before. Her blue skin took on a healthy glow. The doctors were amazed by her transformation. Your muscle density has tripled, one explained. Your bone density has increased by 20%. Your cardiovascular efficiency has improved dramatically. Lisa was not surprised. She had seen this pattern in human patients who adopted exercise regimes. The body responded to challenge by becoming stronger. Is this how all humans live? Nalara asked one evening as they sat by a campfire after a long day of hiking. Lisa laughed. Not exactly. Many humans choose comfort over challenge, but those who push themselves, who test their limits, they find strengths they never knew they had. Nalara stared into the flames, deep in thought. My people have forgotten this wisdom, she said. We created a perfect world without discomfort, without struggle. But in doing so, we made ourselves weak by the 6th month. Nalara could outrun Lisa on their morning jogs. Her alien physiology, once adapted to challenge, seemed to excel beyond human limits. Her reflexes sharpened. Her strength grew, impressive. Her endurance became remarkable. I want to learn more. Lisa Nalara announced one morning, I want to understand how humans became so resilient. Lisa designed a new phase of training, not just physical but mental and emotional. She taught Nalara about human history, about how adversity had shaped human civilization, about how conflicts and challenges had forced innovation and adaptation. They studied ancient warriors and modern soldiers. They explored how humans had survived in the harshest environments, from scorching deserts to frozen tundra. They discussed how competition drove humans to exceed their limits. We try to be comfortable, Nalara observed. But we need discomfort to grow. Exactly. Lisa agreed. During their 8th month, Lisa introduced combat training. Nothing lethal, just basic self-defense. But Nalara took to it with surprising aptitude. Her newly developed strength combined with her alien reflexes made her a natural fighter. I never imagined violence could be so precise, so controlled, Nalara said after a sparring session. It requires such focus, such discipline. It is not about hurting others, Lisa explained. It is about protecting yourself and those you care for. Nalara's eyes brightened. Like you protected me. Lisa felt a surge of affection. For the princess, yes, like that. As the first year of training concluded, Lisa received a message from Earth Central Command. Scouts had discovered a hostile alien fleet moving through nearby systems. Their trajectory suggested they might be heading toward Earth. Lisa debated whether to tell Nalara. The princess had made remarkable progress, but she was still just one individual from a peaceful species. What could she do against a potential invasion? Trust had grown between them, however, and Lisa believed in honesty. The news troubled Nalara deeply. My people have technologies far beyond yours, she said after considering the report. If these hostiles threaten Earth, my father would help. His fleet could protect your world. How can we contact him? Lisa asked. We cannot, Nalara said simply. Not directly. Our communication technology requires special relays. The nearest is in my royal ship, which remains in orbit around your moon. They would need to reach the ship, but that meant Nalara would need to leave Earth, return to the orbital platform. This would be the first real test of her new strength. Could she function in the environment that had once made her weak? I am ready, she declared. The human doctors agree. My condition is gone. My body is strong. I can return to space. The journey to the lunar orbital platform took 3 days in a human shuttle. Nalara showed no signs of weakness in the artificial gravity of the spacecraft. She moved with confidence, performed her share of duties, even helped the human crew with tasks requiring her superior strength. When they reached the Zexian royal vessel, Nalara was greeted with shock by her attendants. They barely recognized the princess. The frail, delicate royal had been replaced by a confident, physically powerful figure. My lady, one attendant gasped. You look healthy. Nalara finished for him. I am healthy for the first time in my life. Now we must send a message to my father. Earth is in danger, and we have promised them protection. The communication relay activated instantly. The king's face appeared on the screen. His 4 eyes widened at the sight of his daughter. Nalara, he breathed. What has happened to you? Father, I am well. Truly well. The humans have cured me, but now they need our help. She explained the situation with the approaching hostile fleet. The king listened carefully. I will dispatch our defense fleet immediately, he promised. They will arrive within your lunar orbit in 14 of your Earth days. Nalara thanked him, then made an unexpected request. Father, I wish to join your warriors when they arrive. I have trained in human combat methods. I can serve as liaison between our forces. The king looked surprised but nodded. As you wish, daughter. I look forward to seeing the warrior you have become after ending the transmission. Nalara turned to Lisa. Her expression was serious. 14 days may be too long, she said. We should prepare Earth for possible first contact with these hostiles. Lisa agreed. Together, they returned to Earth with urgent news. Earth would need to ready its defenses while waiting for Zexian reinforcements. More importantly, Earth would need to understand it had gained a powerful ally. The news of alien reinforcements spread rapidly across the planet. Some celebrated, others remained skeptical. How could they trust these Zexians? These aliens they barely knew. Lisa watched as Nalara addressed the United Earth Council. Her once shy princess now stood tall and confident before the assembled leaders. Your world saved me, she told them. You taught me strength, you showed me how to overcome weakness. My people will stand with yours against any threat. This I swear. Her words carried weight. Her transformation was living proof of the bond between their worlds. Some council members remained doubtful, but most were convinced Earth would accept Zexian help. The 13 days that followed were filled with frantic preparation. Earth mobilized its defense forces, space stations were converted to military outposts, civilian ships were retrofitted with weapons, nations that had long been rivals united against the common threat. Lisa and Nalara worked tirelessly to coordinate between human military leaders and the approaching Zexian fleet. Nalara shared knowledge of advanced shield technologies, while Lisa helped explain human tactical thinking. They make plans within plans, Nalara observed after one particularly intense strategy session. Your generals consider failure as a possibility and prepare for it. My people would simply assume our superior technology would prevail. Lisa nodded. Humans expect things to go wrong. We hope for the best but plan for the worst. It is a wisdom born of weakness, Nalara realized. When you cannot overpower a problem, you must outthink it. On the 14th day, the Zexian fleet arrived, 100 ships each larger than the largest human vessel. Their hulls shimmered with iridescent patterns reminiscent of their ruler scales. They moved into defensive positions around Earth, with precision that impressed even veteran human commanders aboard the Zexian flagship. Lisa stood beside Nalara as she greeted her father's appointed admiral. The admiral, a tall, four-armed warrior, bowed deeply to the princess. My lady, he said, we almost did not recognize you. You have changed. Nalara stood at her full height. I have grown, stronger, admiral, as all our people must if we are to face the challenges of this universe. The admiral seemed taken aback by her words but quickly focused on the mission. What do we know of these hostiles? Nalara gestured to Lisa, who presented the data Earth had gathered. The approaching fleet consisted of 30 vessels. Their design was unknown to both humans and Zexians. Their communications had gone unanswered. Their trajectory suggested aggressive intent. Our fleet outnumbers theirs. Admiral, the admiral said confidently. This will be a simple matter. Lisa and Nalara exchanged glances. Admiral, Nalara said carefully, we should not underestimate an unknown enemy. The humans have a saying, never assume victory until the battle is won. The admiral looked surprised to be lectured by the princess, but nodded respectfully. Of course, my lady. We will proceed with caution. The hostile fleet arrived 2 days later. Their ships were smaller than the Zexian vessels, but moved with unusual speed and coordination. They took up positions just beyond weapons range. Attempts at communication failed. The unknown ships maintained silence. Then, without warning, they attacked. Their weapons were unlike anything the defenders had seen. Beams of twisted light that seemed to bend around traditional shields. The first volley disabled 3 Zexian ships and 1 human defense platform. The admiral's confidence vanished. Our shields. They pierced them as if they were not there. Nalara remained calm, remembering her training, with Lisa focus on what works, not what fails. She said, switch to evasive maneuvers. Pull back the fleet, spread out, make yourselves harder to target. The admiral hesitated. Zexian doctrine called for holding formation, maintaining a wall of shields, but the shields were failing. Nalara took command. Do as I say, Admiral, she ordered. Remember, I speak with royal authority. The Zexian ships scattered, adopting the unpredictable movement patterns Lisa had taught Nalara during their training. The hostile beam still struck but hit fewer targets. The defense held if barely. We need a new strategy. Nalara said. Lisa studied the sensor readings. The hostile ships moved in perfect unison, too perfect. They move as one, she realized. Not like individual ships, with individual captains, but like parts of a single organism. Nalara considered this. If they are connected, their communication must be constant. We need to disrupt that connection. The human ships have electronic warfare capabilities. Lisa suggested. They can generate interference fields, but would the hostile ships even use technology similar enough for our jamming to work? Nalara wondered. Lisa smiled. This is where we try everything and see what works. The human way. They implemented multiple strategies. Simultaneously, human ships deployed electronic countermeasures. Zexian vessels attempted to match the hostiles' energy signatures to disrupt them. Earth ground stations broadcast across all frequencies, hoping to create noise in whatever system the enemy used. One of these approaches worked. The perfectly synchronized hostile movements began to falter. Their formation broke, ships collided. Their attacks became less precise. Nalara saw their chance. Admiral, target their command ship, she ordered, the largest vessel at the center of their formation. Focus all firepower there. The combined Zexian and human forces concentrated their attack. The hostile command ship shields flared under the assault but held. We need more power, Nalara said. The Admiral shook his head. We are at maximum output. Nalara thought of her training on Earth of pushing beyond perceived limits. There is always more, she said. Divert power from life support if necessary. We can survive on reduced air for the time needed to break through. The Admiral looked shocked but complied. The Zexian ships grew colder, dimmer as power shifted to weapons. The concentrated barrage intensified. The hostile command ship shields failed. Its hull cracked open, venting atmosphere and debris. The effect on the remaining hostile ships was immediate. They stopped attacking, some drifted aimlessly. Others began to retreat. We have won, the Admiral said in disbelief. Not yet, Nalara cautioned. Restore systems to normal. Watch for deception. Her caution proved wise. Minutes later, the hostile ships regrouped. They accelerated suddenly, not retreating but converging on Earth. They meant to crash their vessels into the planet, a final desperate attack. Lisa calculated quickly. Even if we destroy half of them, the rest would cause catastrophic damage to Earth. Nalara made an instant decision. Admiral, order all ships to physical intercept. Use our vessels as shields. The Admiral stared at her. My lady, that would mean. I know what it means. Nalara cut him off. We have the larger ships. We can absorb these impacts. Earth cannot give the order. The Zexian fleet moved to intercept, placing their massive vessels directly in the path of the oncoming hostiles. Lisa watched in horror as Nalara's people prepared to sacrifice themselves for a world not their own. But the humans had been watching too. Earth launched every available ship not to flee, but to join the defense. Hundreds of smaller vessels moved alongside the Zexian ships. A transmission came through. From the human Admiral, we stand together. What followed was a desperate battle, not of weapons, but of piloting skill. The defenders used their ships as battering rams to deflect the hostile vessels away from Earth. Each impact disabled ships on both sides. The space around Earth became a graveyard of broken vessels, and the Zexian flagship Lisa and Nalara worked to coordinate the defense. Despite their efforts, hostile ships broke through. The situation grew desperate. Then Nalara saw a possibility. One large Zexian cruiser remained intact near a cluster of approaching hostiles. Admiral, she called. Does the Solaris cruiser still have its gravity generators? Yes, my lady. Order them to create a gravity well directly in their path. Maximum power. Cruiser activated its gravity technology. A distortion formed in space, pulling the hostile ships toward it. and away from Earth. The strain on the cruiser was immense. Its hull buckled under the pressure, but it held long enough. The remaining hostiles were caught in the artificial gravity. While their trajectories altered, they would miss Earth entirely. The battle was over. The combined fleet had prevailed, though, at great cost. 15 Zexian ships destroyed, 37 human vessels lost. But Earth was safe. In the aftermath, Lisa found Nalara on the observation deck of the flagship. The princess watched as repair ships moved among the damaged vessels. "We won," Nalara said softly. But the cost. Lisa stood beside her. "This is another human lesson. The price of survival is often high, but we pay it, because the alternative is unacceptable." Nalara nodded. "My people fought well. They showed strength I did not know they possessed. They learned from your example." Lisa said, "You showed them what it means to be strong." Communications from Earth flooded in. Messages of gratitude and solidarity from human leaders. Human citizens organized aid for injured Zexian crew members. Hospitals opened their doors to alien wounded. "The bond between our worlds is sealed now," Nalara observed. "It was forged in battle, but it need not be defined by it. Together we can build something greater than either of us could." "Alone," Lisa smiled. "That is the greatest human strength. Not our ability to fight, but our ability to unite. To find common ground even with those who seem most different from us." In the days that followed, recovery efforts dominated their time. Damaged ships were repaired, crews were treated, the dead from both sides were honored. Humans and Zexians worked side by side, their differences forgotten in the shared work of healing. 2 weeks after the battle, Nalara received a transmission from Zexia Prime. Her father had fallen ill. The royal physicians were uncertain of the cause, but his condition was serious. She needed to return home. Lisa watched as the princess prepared for departure. The bond between them had grown deep over their time together, yet they both understood the responsibilities that pulled them in different directions. "I will go with you," Lisa offered. "I can continue to serve as liaison between our worlds." Nalara shook her head gently. "You are needed here. The diplomatic framework between Earth and Zexia is still fragile. You understand both sides. And I," she hesitated, "must face my world alone." Lisa understood. The princess who had left Zexia was not the princess who would return. The transformation went beyond physical strength. Nalara had adopted human perspectives, human values, human determination. These changes would not be easily accepted on her homeworld. The princess must have seen the concern in her human friend's face. She placed a blue hand on Lisa's shoulder. "You taught me to be strong," she said. "Not just in body, but in spirit. I will not forget these lessons when I return home. I will bring them to my people." The departure ceremony was attended by leaders from around Earth. The Zexian princess, who had once been too weak to stand through a formal introduction, now commanded attention. Her presence radiated confidence and strength. She addressed the assembled dignitaries with eloquence, thanking them for their hospitality, their wisdom, and their courage. "Earth has changed me," she concluded, "and perhaps I have changed Earth a little too. May the bond between our worlds grow ever stronger." As Nalara boarded the royal transport, Lisa handed her a small package wrapped in simple cloth. "What is this?" the princess asked. "Just a reminder," Lisa smiled. "Open it when you reach home." The journey to Zexia Prime took less than a week in the advanced Zexian vessel. Nalara spent the time preparing for what awaited her father, ill, possibly dying. The royal court, which had known her only as a frail, sickly princess. The responsibilities she would soon face when her ship entered orbit around her homeworld. Nalara unwrapped Lisa's gift. Inside was a small stone from the mountain stream where they had begun their training, so ordinary yet so meaningful. A piece of earth, a reminder of where her strength had been born. Nalara stepped onto the royal landing platform of Zexia Prime. The assembled court waited in perfect formation. Their faces showed shock as she walked confidently toward them. No swaying, No weakness, just smooth, controlled power in every movement. The royal advisor met her at the entry to the palace. "My lady," he said, bowing deeply, "your father awaits in his chambers. His condition is stable but weak." She followed the advisor through the familiar halls of the palace. Everything looked smaller than she remembered. The grand staircase that once seemed so daunting now felt short, the massive doors lighter than she recalled. Her perspective had changed along with her body. Her father lay on his ceremonial bed, his once vibrant scales now dull, his 4 eyes cloudy. He turned toward her as she entered. "Nalara," he whispered. "Is that truly you?" She knelt beside him. "Yes, father, it is me." He reached out a trembling hand to touch her face. "You have changed so much, you look so strong." "I am strong, father, and I know what ails you, what ails all our people." The king looked confused. The royal physicians find no disease. "It is not a disease, father, it is the absence of challenge." She took his hand. "Our world is too perfect, too comfortable. We have engineered away all hardship, all difficulty, but our bodies need resistance to maintain strength. Our minds need problems to remain sharp. Our spirits need obstacles to grow." The king considered her words. "The physicians say my body is simply failing. They can find no cause, because they do not recognize comfort as a cause." Nalara said. She stood, straight. "I have learned much on Earth. I believe I can help you as they helped me. But you must trust me. The treatment will not be easy." Her father studied her, seeing the transformation that Earth had wrought. "If it made you this strong," he said, "we'll try over." The following months, Nalara implemented what she called the Earth Protocol for her father, starting with gentle movements, gradually increasing physical activity, carefully managed nutrition. She worked with him daily, ignoring the shocked whispers of the court when she pushed the king to walk farther, to lift more, to breathe harder. The royal physicians objected at first. "This is undignified," one argued. "Our king should not strain himself like a common laborer." Nalara silenced them with a look that reminded everyone of her royal authority. "Dignity," she said, "comes from strength, not from weakness. Watch and learn." Slowly, the king's condition improved. His scales regained their luster. His eyes cleared. His strength returned, not to his youthful vigor perhaps, but to a level that allowed him to rule effectively once more. Word spread through the royal city. The king walks in the gardens again. The king attends full council meetings. The king stands for hours during ceremonies, and always at his side, his daughter, the princess, returned from Earth, transformed from delicate blossom to powerful warrior. Nalara did not stop with her father. She implemented training programs for the royal guard at first, then for all palace staff. Eventually, for any citizen who wished to participate, she shared the human philosophy of continuous improvement, of pushing beyond comfort to find true capability. Some embraced these new ideas, especially the younger Zexians. Others resisted, clinging to the old ways of perfect comfort and technological dependence. The society began to divide between what were called the strengthened and the traditionalists. 6 months after her return, Nalara addressed the royal assembly. She stood before the gathered nobles, ministers, and citizens, her posture perfect, her voice clear. "For 10,000 years," she began, "we have pursued comfort as our highest value. We have bent nature to our will, reshaped our world, eliminated discomfort from our lives, and, in doing so, we have grown weak. Our bodies fail prematurely, our minds lose focus, our spirit diminishes." She paced before them, her movements fluid and powerful on Earth. "I learned a different way. Humans embrace challenge. They seek out difficulty. They understand that growth comes from overcoming obstacles, not avoiding them. They are younger than us, less advanced in many ways, but they possess wisdom. We have forgotten." A traditionalist minister rose to object. "My lady, with respect. Earth barely survived. The recent attack, it was our superior technology that saved them. How can you suggest we should emulate such a primitive world?" Nalara fixed her 4 eyes on him. "Minister, If our ships had been crewed by warriors with human resolve, with human adaptability, with human determination, we would have lost fewer vessels. Earth was not saved by our technology alone, but by our willingness to fight alongside humans, to learn from them, to adopt their flexible thinking. The minister seemed taken aback, but pressed. On these human methods you speak of, they seem barbaric. Deliberate discomfort, physical strain, pain. These are things we have spent millennia eliminating from our lives, Nalara nodded. I once thought as you do. I feared discomfort. I avoided effort, but look at me now. She gestured to her strong frame. I have never been more alive, more capable, more fulfilled. And my father lives because of these barbaric methods. She turned to address the entire assembly. I do not propose we abandon our technology or our achievements. I propose we integrate human wisdom with Zexian advancement, to combine their resilience with our innovation, their adaptability with our stability, their passion with our patience. Together, these qualities would make us truly great. The debate raged for days. Traditionalists warned of cultural contamination, of abandoning Zexian values. Progressives pointed to the visible results in those who had adopted the Earth Protocol. The king himself finally settled the matter. Have lived both ways, he declared, speaking from his throne. I have known the comfort of perfect technology and the satisfaction of earned strength. I choose strength. I support my daughter's vision. The king's decree did not end all resistance, but it gave Nalara the authority she needed over the following year. Training centers opened across Zexia Prime. Physical education became mandatory for young Zexians. Competitions celebrated those who pushed their limits. Public spaces were redesigned to encourage movement and effort. 5 years passed. Lisa continued her work as ambassador between Earth and Zexia. She visited the alien world twice a year, marveling at the changes each time. Streets once filled with hover platforms now saw Zexians walking, running, even dancing. Buildings once designed for minimal movement now featured stairs, climbing walls, exercise spaces. Most remarkable was the change in the people themselves. Their bodies stronger, their movements more fluid, their eyes brighter with purpose. The medical record showed decreasing rates of the mysterious wasting condition that had affected Nalara. The birth rate increased. The average lifespan extended. Not all embraced the new way. Some elder Zexians especially maintained their preference for complete comfort. They watched with disapproval as the younger generations adopted human-inspired activities, but they could not deny the results. During her visits, Lisa often met with Nalara. The princess had become the primary advocate for what was now called the strengthening, a cultural movement that combined Zexian technology with human philosophy. Their friendship remained strong, though both were busy with their respective duties. Then came the distress call. A hostile species had invaded the outer colonies of Earth. The human military vessels were outnumbered, outgunned. The enemy advanced toward Earth itself. The description matched no known species in either human or Zexian records. Their technology surpassed even Zexian capabilities. Their tactics were ruthless, their motives unknown, as hope dimmed for Earth. Lisa sent an urgent message to Zexia Prime. She did not explicitly ask for help, understanding the political complexities involved. The treaty between their worlds did not obligate Zexia to defend Earth against third parties, but she hoped Nalara would understand. 3 days passed with no response. Earth prepared for the worst. Evacuation plans were made. Though there was nowhere truly safe to go, defensive positions were established. Knowing they would likely fail, the situation seemed hopeless. Then sensors detected a massive energy signature at the edge of the solar system. Ships were emerging from hyperspace. More ships than anyone had expected. Hundreds of vessels, their hulls shimmering with the iridescent patterns that reminded Lisa of scales on. The communication screen appeared Nalara no longer a princess, but wearing the crown of Zexia. Her father had passed away 1 month earlier. She explained. The coronation had just been completed when Lisa's message arrived. We received your distress call, Queen Nalara said, her voice strong and clear. Zexia stands with Earth. The humans taught us how to be strong. Now we will show our strength together. The combined forces of Earth and Zexia confronted the invaders in the asteroid belt. The battle was fierce. The enemy technology remained superior, their weapons more destructive, their shields more resilient. But the Zexian ships fought with a ferocity that shocked even the human soldiers. They pushed beyond their limits, adapted to changing battle conditions, refused to surrender when wounded. The crews performed feats of endurance and courage that would have been impossible for the Zexians of 6 years ago. Impressive were the special forces. Queen Nalara herself had trained warriors who combined Zexian technical knowledge with human physical prowess. They boarded enemy vessels, fought hand-to-hand, planted explosives in critical systems. The tide turned. The invaders retreated. Those that could, Earth was saved again. In the aftermath, Lisa found herself aboard the Zexian royal flagship. Nalara, now Queen of Zexia, waited in the command center. No longer the frail princess, no longer just the strong warrior, but a leader whose presence filled the room. Her crown gleamed against her blue skin. Her eyes held wisdom earned through challenge and triumph. "My friend," Nalara said, embracing Lisa. "We meet again in the shadow of battle." Lisa returned the embrace, noting the firm muscles beneath the royal garments. "You came," she said simply. "Of course." Nalara smiled. "Did you doubt I would never?" Lisa admitted, "But I feared your council might object. Your father might forbid." Nalara guided Lisa to the viewport where the combined fleets of Earth and Zexia moved in formation. "My father understood before the end," she said. "He saw what the strengthening had done for our people. He gave his blessing for this mission before he passed. And as for the council," she smiled, "they serve the crown. They do not command it." They watched the ships in silence for a moment. "Your fleet is larger than I expected," Lisa observed. "The strengthening has changed more than bodies." Nalara explained. "It has changed minds. Our young people seek purpose, challenge. Meaningful work. Service in the fleet offers all these. Many who once would have lived lives of idle comfort now train as warriors, engineers, explorers." Lisa nodded. "They fought like humans. Better than humans," Nalara corrected. "They fought with human resolve but Zexian precision, human courage but Zexian technology, human adaptability but Zexian discipline. The combination proved unstoppable." After the victory celebration, Nalara invited Lisa to a private meeting. The Queen dismissed her attendants, leaving just the two of them in the royal chamber. "I have been considering the future," she said as Queen. "I must think beyond immediate concerns. I must plan for generations to come." Lisa waited, sensing the importance of this conversation. "The hostile forces we defeated today," Nalara continued. "They will return. Perhaps not soon, but eventually. And there may be other threats, other challenges beyond our current imagining." "I agree," Lisa said. "Earth has been thinking along similar lines. Our isolated worlds are vulnerable no matter how strong we become individually." Nalara nodded precisely. "I propose an alliance. Not merely the trade and cultural exchange we have now, but a true union of our peoples. A combining of strengths, a sharing of wisdom, a mutual defense that would make any aggressor think twice." What she proposed was unprecedented. Earth had never formed such a deep alliance with another species. The political hurdles would be enormous, the cultural differences significant. Yet Lisa found herself nodding. "It makes sense," she said. "Our worlds complement each other. Your technology, our adaptability, your stability, our innovation. Together we would be stronger than either alone." Nalara finished. They spent hours discussing the details, how such an alliance would function, how to overcome resistance on both sides, how to structure military cooperation, scientific exchange, cultural programs. When they finally emerged from the chamber, both women knew they had begun something historic, something that would reshape both their worlds. The formal negotiations would take years, the implementation decades, but the foundation had been laid. 6 months later, Lisa stood beside Queen Nalara on the ceremonial platform in Geneva. The leaders of Earth had gathered to sign the preliminary agreement, The Stellar Concordat, as it was called, established the framework for the alliance Nalara had proposed. As the human president and the Zexian queen pressed their hands to the document, Lisa reflected on the journey that had brought them here. A sick princess sent to Earth, a human who taught her strength, a bond between individuals that grew to encompass worlds. After the ceremony, Nalara found a moment alone with Lisa. "Did you imagine this?" she asked when we began our morning walks in the mountains. "That we would end here?" Lisa smiled. "I was hoping to help one person. I never dreamed we would change. 2 civilizations." Nalara looked out at the gathered dignitaries, humans and Zexians, mingling, exchanging ideas, making connections. The humans teaching the aliens about competition, challenge growth. The aliens sharing knowledge of technologies, stability, harmony. "This is just the beginning," she said. "The first step on a new path. Our children and grandchildren will walk together, forging connections we cannot yet imagine facing, challenges we cannot yet foresee, but they will face them with strength, with courage, with wisdom drawn from both our worlds." Lisa nodded, feeling the truth of her friend's words. This was indeed just the beginning of something greater than either of them had imagined, a future shaped by the best of humanity and the best of Zexia, a future where strength came not from isolation, but from connection, not from comfort but from challenge, not from uniformity but from diversity. The frail princess had become a warrior queen, the wary human diplomat had become an architect of alliance, and 2 worlds once separated by vast distances had found in each other the very qualities they needed to thrive among the stars. "Our 2 species," Nalara said softly, "are stronger together than apart." Lisa took her friend's hand, that she said is the most human lesson of all.